So good morning everyone. How are you doing today? Today I have something really special planned for you if you like yoga. So you might remember last month I went to the beach, and mornings that week I went onto the beach and did yoga and meditation and drank my coffee. And I'm going to give you a little link right here to my video, a little coffee time with me one morning. And I also took the time to film myself in a yoga practice. A short little half-hour-ish practice that I did one morning, and it was sun salutations and warrior poses, and I ended it with some final twists and a nice shavasana at the end. So anyway, I would like to show that to you, and I will narrate it. And you can see all yoga is good yoga. You know, it can be imperfect. It can be in the sand where your feet aren't as steady and you aren't as balanced. That's my excuse. I'm sticking to it. And it's still perfect. It's still wonderful to just get out there and do the yoga. And what I would like to do is start off by putting a little beginning session onto this and then flowing straight into the video. So if you would like to join me with this, I'm still going to start with the standing poses. So I'm standing at the top of my mat. Nice comfortable stance. Right now my feet are pretty close together, just about hip width apart. My feet are straight. And I've got my balance on both legs nice and evenly. And I'm just noticing what my feet feel like right now, the connection with the earth, my connection with that mat. And I can close my eyes and go inward for my practice here. And that might take me inward with the body sensations so that I can feel the bottoms of my feet a little bit more. And I can shift side to side a little bit, put weight on one foot, feel how that feels with a little bit of extra weight on that foot. And then switch over to that other foot and feel if there's any difference and the sensations on the bottom of my feet. And perhaps just go side to side a little bit more, gaining some stability here. And then coming to stillness, and perhaps even raising my toes up off the mat. Putting my weight more in my heels and seeing what that feels like, and then lowering my toes back down. Feeling nice and connected to the earth now, and now I'm focusing my attention onto my breath. Right now I'm just noticing where my breath is. It's a little bit shallow right now. And of course my breathing is different because I'm doing this talking. Just noticing where my breath is right now. Is my breathing shallow or is it deep? What part of the lungs am I feeling? I'm feeling my upper chest right now. Can I experiment a bit and decide to feel my belly region? Perhaps even deepening my breath. Fully immersing myself into my own personal experience with this. Perhaps feeling the air, the breeze as it flows over my skin. Deepening my breath, nice, slow, deep breaths. And as I go into the movements of my practice today, I notice that I am standing at the top of my mat. Feet close together. Nice, strong pose here. As I inhale, I raise my arms up overhead and exhale them back down to my sides. Inhaling, my arms up overhead, and I exhale into a forward fold. I can have my knees slightly bent here as I rest into the forward fold, and then I come halfway up with a straight back and forward fold again. And then I plant my hands on either side of my feet. And I go back with the right foot and then the left into a plank. And I put my knees, chest, chin to the ground and come up into an upward facing dog. And then up into downward facing dog. And from here I'm going to choose to do a three-legged dog, raising my right leg up into the air. This is optional, holding that for just a breath or two. And then swinging that right leg forward between my hands into a runner's lunge, bringing my left up to meet the right, forward fold again. And then inhaling, coming up to standing. Exhaling, my hands down to my sides, inhaling up overhead and exhaling to heart center. Inhaling, arms up overhead and exhaling into my forward fold. I inhale, coming up halfway with a straight spine. Exhaling, I place my hands down on the ground and go back with my left leg and then my right, plank. Knees, chest, chin to the ground, up into either a baby cobra or an upward facing dog. And then I go into my downward facing dog. Choosing to do the three-legged dog, again, I put my left foot up into the air, holding for a few breaths here. Nice strong position here, and then I swing that left foot forward between my hands, bring my right up to meet the left into forward fold. And then I inhale, arms up overhead, exhaling them to heart center. Inhaling, arms up overhead, exhaling into my forward fold. Inhaling, I come halfway up with a straight spine, exhaling, planting my hands. Right foot goes back, runner's lunge, then the left into plank. Knees, chest, chin down to the ground. Baby cobra or upward facing dog, and then push into my downward facing dog. Right leg goes to the sky for three-legged dog. Swinging that foot forward between my hands, then the left foot to meet the right, forward fold. Inhaling, coming up, arms up overhead, exhaling, arms to hand center. Inhaling, arms up overhead, exhaling into my forward fold. Inhaling halfway up, straight spine, exhaling, forward fold. Left foot back, and then the right into plank. Knees, chest, chin down to the ground. Baby cobra or upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. And then my left leg goes up to the sky, three-legged dog. And then swings forward between my hands. And then my right meets my left leg for a forward fold. Inhale as I rise to standing, arms up overhead, exhaling, my hands to heart center. Inhaling, arms up overhead, exhaling, forward fold. Inhaling halfway up, straight spine, exhaling, forward fold. Right foot goes back, runner's lunge, then the left into plank. Knees, chest, chin go down to the ground, up into a baby cobra, and then pushing into my downward facing dog. My right leg goes up in the air into the three-legged dog. And then I swing that leg forward between my hands and bring the other foot forward for a forward fold. And inhaling, I come to standing, raising arms high overhead, exhaling, my hands to heart center. Inhaling, arms up overhead, exhaling into a forward fold. Inhaling halfway up, straight spine, exhaling, plant my hands down. Left foot goes back, runner's lunge, then the right into plank. Knees, chest, chin down to the ground. Baby cobra or downward, upward facing dog, and then downward facing dog. My left leg goes up to the sky for my three-legged dog. And then I swing that leg forward and plant it between my hands, and then bring the right to meet the left. Forward fold. Inhaling, arms up overhead as I stand, and exhaling, hands to heart center. Inhaling, arms up overhead, and exhale into a forward fold. Inhale halfway up and exhale, forward fold. Plant my hands and the right leg goes back, and then the left. Knees, chest, chin down to the ground. Baby cobra or upward dog. Then pushing into downward dog. Right leg goes up to the sky for three-legged dog. And then right foot swings forward to plant between my hands. Bringing the left to meet the right. Forward fold. Inhaling as I come to standing, arms overhead, exhaling, hands to heart center. Inhaling, arms up overhead, exhaling, forward fold. Inhaling, straight spine, exhaling, plant my hands. Left foot back, runner's lunge. Right foot back, plank. Knees, chest, chin down to the ground. Baby cobra or upward facing dog. And then a downward facing dog. I raise my left foot up toward the sky. Three-legged dog. Swing that leg forward between my hands and bring the right one up to meet it. Forward fold. Rise to standing, arms up overhead, and exhaling my hands to heart center. Inhaling, arms up overhead, exhaling into forward fold. Inhaling halfway up, straight spine, exhaling, forward fold, plant my hands. Bring my right foot down. This time I'm going to steady my positioning here, planting my feet nice and firm, keeping myself in the runner's lunge and bring myself up, rooting to rise into my warrior one position. My hands can be steadying myself on my thigh, or I can raise them up overhead when I'm nice and grounded. Holding here for a few breaths, bringing nice oxygen into my lungs to nourish my body. And I rotate my back foot to the side as I bring my arms parallel, rotating my hips to the side into warrior two, holding this for a few breaths. And then when I'm ready, I lower my back hand toward my straight leg and raise my front arm up toward the sky, keeping my knee, my front knee nice and bent. Going back into warrior two, and then I rest my left elbow on my left bent knee, raising my right arm up over parallel to my ear. Holding this for a few breaths, coming back up into warrior two. I'm going to straighten that back leg, reach forward, and then rotate into triangle pose, putting my left hand under my left shin, or I could use a block if I have one handy. Right arm toward the sky. Coming back up into warrior two. And then I rotate my foot back to warrior one position. Feet are now on railroad tracks parallel to each other. Again, hands can be on the hips for stability, or you can raise your arms to the sky. I am strong, I am powerful, I am perfect just the way I am. And then I step forward and I exhale my arms down. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, my hands to heart center. Inhale, arms up. Exhaling, I do a forward fold. I inhale halfway up with a straight spine. Exhale back to my forward fold, planting my hands. And then my left foot goes back as I prepare for warrior on this side, keeping my front foot firmly planted, my knee bent but not past the ankle. Getting my stability here, and I can keep my hands resting on my thigh, Or as I'm ready and balanced, I can raise my arms up overhead into the full extension of Warrior One. I am strong, I am powerful, I am perfect just the way that I am. I am a compassionate warrior. Holding for a few more breaths. And then I rotate that back foot. Prepare for my Warrior Two. Regaining my stability here. Rotating the hips to the side. Arms parallel. Holding this pose for a few breaths, and then I lower my back hand to my straight leg and raise my front arm up to the sky, looking up. Keeping that front knee bent, but not past the ankle. Coming back into Warrior Two, and then I rest the right elbow onto the right knee, raising my left arm up parallel to my ear. Holding for a few breaths here. And then I come back up into Warrior Two. Nice strong pose here. Straightening that front leg. As I reach forward and rotate into triangle, my right hand rests on my right shin, or it could be on a block. Left arm up toward the sky, finding a nice comfortable neutral place for my neck. Listening to what my body is telling me. Do I want to shift the position of my head a little bit here? Finding what's comfortable for our bodies. Learning to pay attention to our bodies. Holding this for a breath or two. And then coming back up into Warrior Two. And then I'm going to rotate that back foot again. Preparing for Warrior One again. Regaining my stability here. I can keep my hands on my thighs, or if I'm nice and steady, I can raise my arms up overhead. And always knowing that one side of the body may feel more stable than another, and it is still all good. Holding here for a few breaths. I am strong and powerful. I am a compassionate warrior. I am perfect just the way I am. And then bringing that rear foot forward again into mountain pose. Inhaling up, arms up overhead, and exhaling to hands to heart center. Inhaling, arms up overhead, and I exhale into a forward fold. And I inhale, coming halfway up with a straight spine. Exhale, planting my hands and going back with my right leg. And I'm going into Warrior Two pose as I'm deciding what pose I would like to do next. So holding Warrior Two for a breath or so. Then I'm putting my left elbow onto my left bent knee, raising my right arm parallel to my head. And here I'm going to decide to come into triangle for just a moment, but then I come up and put my hands into prayer position at my chest, deciding to do a spinal twist here, keeping my left front knee bent, resting my right elbow onto my left knee. Or we could choose to continue just doing triangle pose. Doing a little spinal twist here in our warrior triangle position. Holding for just a few breaths. Coming back up to standing, bring feet together, inhale, arms up overhead, exhaling down to prayer. Inhaling, arms up overhead, exhaling into forward fold. Inhaling, halfway up, straight spine, exhaling, planting those hands. As then I bring my left foot back, rotating the foot, come into my warrior two. Getting some nice stability here. Bringing my right elbow to my right knee as I raise my left arm up overhead for a breath or two. And then come back into warrior two, and I put my hands to prayer position and I rotate, getting a nice twist in that spine, putting my left elbow onto my right bent knee. Or we could choose just to come into a triangle pose here. And this feels a little more unstable to me, so I bring my feet back together into standing. Inhale, hands up, exhale to heart center. And now I'm making my way back down onto the mat. Stick pose. Sitting upright, my legs straight out in front of me, my feet are flexed. I'm inhaling with a nice straight spine. I'm exhaling, folding over, grabbing a hold of my ankles or my feet or my shins, wherever my hands may reach, as I relax into this forward fold while sitting. Inhaling, coming back up. And then I'm bringing my feet closer to my body, the bottoms of my feet together into butterfly, fluttering my knees a little here. And then I'm going to keep my spine nice and straight as I hinge from the hips, folding forward just as far as I can with a straight spine, breathing through this pose. And once I feel like I've reached my edge, holding for a moment or two more, and then I can curve my spine, folding even more, perhaps into my little cocoon in my butterfly pose here. And I'm gently raising myself back up out of that. I straighten my left leg out at about a 45-degree angle, keeping my right foot close to my body as I again fold forward, straight ahead, reaching forward. Taking a few breaths here, getting a nice stretch in the back of that leg. And when I'm ready, I can make my way over to the left hand side and fold over that left leg, grabbing a hold of my ankle or my foot. And then gently coming back to seated as I bring my left foot in and put my right leg out, 45-degree angle. Folding forward here, straight ahead for a few breaths. A nice forward fold here, and then I reach over to the right, grab a hold of that ankle or the foot as I fold over the right leg. Feeling the stretch in the back of that leg, coming back up to seated, putting my feet back together, butterfly pose again. As I repeat, a forward fold, straight spine here, going only as far as I can with a straight spine before finally curving into a full forward fold. And then coming back up to seated here. And from here, I am going to straighten my left leg, keeping my right knee bent. I can put that foot over to the other side of my leg as I twist to the right, looking out over that right shoulder. Getting a nice spinal twist here, holding for a few breaths. Breathing into this twist. And then gently waking my way back to center as I straighten those legs out and then bring my left foot knee up so that I can twist over to look out over the right shoulder now. And holding this spinal twist for another few breaths here. And then gently making my way back to center. Again, straightening those legs and jiggling them out some. Now I'm going to prepare to lay down. I'm going to rock myself back, grabbing a hold of my legs and rocking back onto my back, bringing my knees to my chest. My hands can be behind my knees, or I could perhaps wrap my arms around my legs, giving myself a nice hug as I rock side to side, massaging my spine. And I can grab a hold of my feet and spread my legs out into butterfly or even happy baby if that's within my practice. And now I'm going to drop my legs down to the right as I twist, keeping my shoulders on the ground, looking out over my left with my arms out as a T. And I'm going to relax into a nice resting spinal twist here, wringing out all the stresses of my day like I'm a wet washcloth, letting all the stresses just drain away into the sand to be washed away by the ocean. Anything that no longer serves is just running right out of me like water out of a twisted washcloth. Now I gently make my way back to center here, jiggling that out. And then I'm going to allow my knees to fall over to the left as I look out over the right shoulder now. Again, nice, easy, gentle twist, allowing gravity to do my work for me here as I relax into it. Allowing myself to be wrung out, all the stresses, anything that no longer serves, is leaving me now draining away into the sand to be washed away by the ocean. Relaxing into this twist. And then as I'm ready, I make my way back to center, get myself comfortable, ready for final Shavasana here. And I relax into this, allowing all my weight to sink into the mat, allowing my eyes to gently close, releasing all the tension in my face and my jaw, perhaps bringing my tongue off of the roof of my mouth, allowing my facial muscles to completely relax. Relaxing my shoulders, letting them sink into the sand. Feeling the wonderful support of the earth as my body sinks down into the mat, knowing that I'm fully supported as I relax all the muscles in my body for my final resting pose. And as I'm ready, I move around a little bit, getting a little bit of motion into my fingers, into my toes, bringing my awareness back into my body, rolling onto one side and resting here for a moment. And then as I'm ready, I come back up to seated. Hands to heart center as I go inward, dropping my chin to my chest. For a few breaths here, thanking myself for taking the time out of my day for this practice. May all beings everywhere be happy and be free from all suffering. May you all be happy and free from all suffering. May you all have a wonderful and blessed day. Thank you for taking your time out of your busy day to take care of your wonderful body with these gentle movements of yoga. Thank you so much for joining me in my yoga practice today. Namaste.